Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. I've just realised that I'm muted because I forgot to unmute my mic, so literally everything that I've just said you haven't heard. I am running a little bit late today. I do also have a cake in the oven currently that needs to come out in the next sort of 3 minutes, so I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes, but I will have to obviously disappear to take the cake out because cake, let's be honest. Who doesn't love cake? But I figure I might as well do an intro to tonight's stream. Tonight's stream is the Grand Tour of Thanalan. We're going to start literally in the city of Uldar, where hopefully I've even positioned my character in the right place where your new players do turn up. And we're going to do a quick tour of the area. I'm going to introduce you to things that are lore relevant, explain what they are and like the history of the city within the game world, and then we're going to go out into the areas around it, central and western Thanalan. Hello, Dom. Thank you for the views. Most appreciated. As I say, I'm gonna go out into Thanalan. I'm gonna show you the areas around. We're gonna talk a bit about the areas, like why they're relevant, and also some fun sort of little stories that I have of my time doing this. And for anybody that has played Final Fantasy XIV in the past, we will pray returns to the Waking Sands. We all still have the nightmares, don't worry. But we are going to go around, we're going to see how that goes. And also, while doing this, I will be running some roulettes tonight as well, so if you are on Light and Odin server, feel free to join us. Run some roulettes. Hopefully I'll get nice and easy ones, but now that I've said that, I'm going to get absolute nightmares. It'd be like when me and Ban got Warrior of Light last time in Trials. I was hoping for something really quick, and yeah, there you go. If we get Warrior of Light again, yeah, I'll take the blame for this one. It's on me. It's on me. So I am going to pop you back on the sort of BRB page because I need to go get this cake. So I will see you in a couple of minutes, and then we'll get started, and hopefully we'll have a good time. Alrighty, I am back. Hello again, everyone. I figure, what the hell, let's just get into the game and we'll get started. So, bear with me. You can tell that I was 100% ready for tonight. Also, let me know if there's any issues with the. You know what? I actually had an idea that I was going to do the Great Eorzean Bake Off, but then I thought, no, everybody I know is already level culinarian too high to be as shit as I am, so it would definitely not be fair. But without further ado, let's get into the game. Yeah, yeah, something like that. Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. Welcome to Uldar specifically. This is the way I'm doing this is this is where I started in the game. This is where I started off. My character started off in Thanalan, and I'm going to give you an interesting story to start off with. That I look like an Aldi Paul Hollywood. I'm the Paul Hollywood you ordered on Wish. Yeah. So this bit here is sorry, the story I was telling you, my brother sort of chucks us off there. When I first started this game, I was a complete noob. This was the first MMO that I ever played, and I wanted to play a class with a sword. Now, the only class with a sword in this game is the Gladiator that eventually becomes Paladin. Now, I didn't realise that it was going to be a tank. And this was back when you got your own... you got attribute points when you leveled up, and you could spend them. And now, for a tank, your best stats were either strength or vitality, because vitality gave you more health, so you could take more hits, and strength let you hit harder and get more threat on the enemies. I know that now. When I first started, I had absolutely no idea, and I maybe chucked all of my stat points into dexterity, all of them, thinking that it would make me swing faster, and that I'd do more damage that way, and that it would be a bit cooler, and I'd be a bit more of a DPS. Well, yeah, that didn't go well. I totally sucked, and I feel terrible for every single player that I went into dungeons with. I had no idea what a tank was, I had no idea what a DPS was. I had no idea what I was doing anywhere, and this was actually on Cerberus server, and then I made a new character here again, started as Monk this time because I wanted to be a ninja. So once again, I started in Thanalan. So we're going to do a tour of Uldar right now, and we're going to start in the Adventurers Guild. Now, Uldar is the desert region of this game, so anybody that doesn't play this game won't know that, but it is pretty much based on Middle Eastern sort of Persian themes. So there's a lot of like it's run by a sultana, which does sound like a fruit because it is, and she's also a Lala, so it kind of works. But basically, picture the Sultan from Aladdin. They've gone for that whole theme. Anyway, this is the Adventurers Guild / bar, and this is sort of where all new adventurers or warriors of light like myself here we'll come in here, and you start your journey here, and you speak to Mamodi, who is a Lalafell, and I know my brother's never seen this game, so you're about to see the childlike race that it is. Look at her. She looks about 5. But Lalas in this game are inherently evil. Everybody knows that. They were behind the calamity. You can say it was Gallia and all you want. It was the Lalas. But you speak to Momody, and she gives you quests, and then away you go. And you'll spend a lot of time sort of just running around at the beginning anyway, doing like fetch quests and carry quests. And you can actually get to like, I think you can get to like level 5 or 6 and never leave the city if you do it properly and you do all of the different sort of beginner quests, the level 1s. And you've got your different gates. I think, is this Gate of the Sultana, maybe? Gate of Nald. Gate of the Sultana is the other one then. Which takes you to Western Thanalan, which is an important thing. But when the time comes for us to venture outside, we're going to go this way first. We're going to go into the... we're going to go into central Thanalan, because there's a lot more to cover in Western Thanalan, so by the time we get there, that'll be a thing. So anyway, I might as well sprint. So if you come out of the Adventurers Guild, you get your Ruby Road, and this is more like it's supposed to represent a mini market, like more like your tourist sort of market, as opposed to the Grand Bazaar, which we'll end up at next, which is the actual sort of trading hub for this sort of area. And a fun fact about Uldar is that during 1.0, this was actually, and I think it's still the case now, this is the city that most people actually have their return set to. Something about, like, over a quarter of all players have their return set to Uldar. And that'll be because they've either started here and not changed it, or because it's actually really easy to navigate to the market board and all that away from here. It's not quite as easy as Limsa, but we'll cover that on a different day when I get to doing the Limsa ones anyway. But as you can see, you've got importers and you can get loads of stuff here. You've got your dancing cat girls, because Final Fantasy does what it does and it does it well. You can buy your link shells, which are like in-game communications. Picture it like a Discord server, but text only and for your friends. It's basically like a free company without a free company, and you don't get housing and stuff, but you can do all that. And you delivery Moogle, you'll find these dotted around the game, and they give you mail from other players, and also rewards that you get from events and from being logged to, like, subscribed to the game for any length of time. And then you've got your lift attendant here who will take you up to the next level, which is where the story progresses. It's also where you find like the Alchemist Guild and things like that, and also the airship plaza, where you can go and find your way around to different areas. But you don't unlock that until you do the level 15 quests, and you've got to do the you've got to basically do a quest chain that shows you all the city hubs and gives you a bit of brief background on them. For example, in Uldar, the Sultana is at this point in the story and everything, and this isn't even spoilers because this is explained right at the start. She's the figurehead. The whole thing is basically run by the Syndicate, and the council on the Syndicate is six of the most influential, like, richest people within the Thanalan sort of Uldar area, and those people include the man that owns the little casino down here, which is actually the home of the Pugilist Guild. Is a Lalafell again, because most of Uldar's citizenship is Lalafell, and he's called Teleji, and this is where you have that, and then I believe there's a little casino. This is supposed to be what this is, but they've turned it into like a fighting arena, which is fun. But the actual Gladiators Guild and the whole bit there with the Colosseum, that's actually owned by General Raban, and he is an absolute weapon. He is a beast. He is a great character. He used to be standing around here, but they don't have him standing here anymore. They replaced him with somebody else. But he used to be standing around here, and this is the Flames Barracks. This is where the General is, and if you are a member of the Immortal Flames, you can come here and you can hand in stuff for them, you can do little quests, you can go visit your own people in there and do mini games effectively with them and go do all content with them. And you can play a triple triad with that guy, and if Kirsty was watching tonight, she'd be kicking my ass because I have not played him. And she's a big triple triad fan. I like the fact that she's still here because I did this quest a couple of weeks ago. Normally when you finish a quest, the NPC kind of disappears in most games, and this was a seasonal event. This was the crossover with Final Fantasy 15, but she's still here, and I imagine she'll leave when that's over. But we'll carry on with the brief tour of this. You've got the Gate of the Sultana here, but in there that leads you into the Colosseum, which, as I say, is owned by General Raban, so that's pretty cool. General Raban, as well as being the general of the Immortal Flames, because he owns the Colosseum, because he bet heavily on himself in a gladiatorial combat before he became the. Don't worry about it, Molly. I'm not asking anyone to subscribe. If you want to subscribe, you can. You can also, if you've got Amazon Prime, use that to subscribe for free, which is pretty cool. If you set up Prime Gaming. But Raban, anyway, he bet heavily on himself in a gladiatorial combat with somebody else that he won, and then used his winnings to become one of the richest people in the area. So he's actually on the Syndicate, and he is the only royalist on it, because it's split into royalists and monetarists, and that comes into play much later on in the game. But he's the only true royalist on it. Now this is the Mages Guild, or the Thaumaturge Guild, and you can see that, again, Lalafells, but again, this whole place was set up to be a Lalafell sort of haven if they were going to ever branch out the different races start in different places, but you can't tell me they don't look creepy. Like, they are up to something. Everybody knows it. Shifty, that's what it is. So anyway, we'll move on. I don't trust them. It's also a temple as well, as you can see, the praying to this. And I did know the name of the god and I forgot it. So I'll have to apologise for that. Well, when I get around to doing the YouTube video on it, I'll put that in properly. I'll edit that part, because I can do that now. Professional. So we're going to head to the Colosseum, which is down this way. And again, you'd normally do all the level 1 quests in this area when you first start and whatnot, and it'll get you around. But you've got the Colosseum, here we are. This is all owned by Raban, which is why he is on the council. He is on the council and they granted him the rank of master, so take that, Anakin Skywalker. You spend some time in here a lot. There's quite a good story involving all the Colosseum and battles and and Mila over here if you do the Gladiators questline, which honestly, even if you don't like tanking, like getting to level 30 in this game is a piece of pea, so I'd recommend it because you get a good story out of it. All of the classes have their own good storylines, to be honest. Let's have a look. Now, there is an interesting bit later on. We're going to go to the... we've done that. The husting strips, that takes you upstairs. We'll do that in a bit. But first, we're going to go this way. This is the gold court. This is the centre of basically Thanalan. Of Uldar. It's going to... Oh, the LARPing. The Kiss My Anthea. The classic that they are. Just don't forget the Whispering Eye. Right, we want to go down to the Miners Guild because there's an interesting bit down there that I actually didn't know, and in researching for this stream I found out, and it's a change between 1.0 and yeah, between 1.0 and 2.0. So you've got the Goldsmiths Guild down here. I'm not much of a crafter or a gatherer myself. Kirsty tends to do more of that. I just sort of come in here and you can talk to all these people, and you've got your goldsmiths here, making jewellery and whatnot. Fun. You've got these little aether crystals here, and what they are, they're teleports to the different areas, and when you unlock them all, you get special teleports to different parts outside. But we're going to skip this. So when we're coming down here, this is towards the Miners Guild, so you're at Onyx Lane, which puts another crafting thing here. This is where you can... what is he doing? Oh, that's weird. That's new, I didn't know about that. But yeah, there's this bit out here is where you speak to the Calamity Salvagers and all that. And this guy here teaches you to be a blue mage, which you can tell I've really put the effort in because this is still like the first part. Up here you've got the black mage quests as well, and they're pretty interesting. But I really wanted to show you guys this bit because it was interesting to me. I hope it's interesting for you as well, but they changed this in between 1.0 and 2.0. And apparently in 1.0, all the way down here, there's like around this sort of area where the Miners Guild is, there was supposed to be effectively a brothel, which is weird. And there's like a stage area where there was dancing cat girls here. So this bit's still here. This is where the those same dancing cat girls that we passed earlier on the Ruby Road, they were there. So there you go. So we'll come back out this way. And you've got the Weavers Guild around here where you can make clothes. And we'll go check out the markets. If I go the right way. I swear I know where I'm going. I swear I do. This isn't a lie. So let's do this. We still need to go upstairs as well, and then we'll hit the outside. When we get into the outside, we'll start going around. You can see how packed this is for a starting city as well. Like, you can see that Final Fantasy XIV is doing really well for itself as a game, and it should, because it is a good game. I would recommend playing it as an RPG first and an MMO second, but that's personal preference, because I feel like because it relies a lot on instance content, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it takes a little bit away from the world for me. But they tie it into the lore of the game as well, so that actually works. He was definitely a WoW player. You've got your market boards, which is the equivalent to World of Warcraft's auction house. You can go on and buy from other players, whatever you want. There you go, have a look at that. Looking super fly. You retain Evoker, what they are. That's how you sell stuff on there. With these. They have their own lore and stuff tied into it, and really I should have looked into that before this because I completely forgot about them. And they actually are quite interesting. Now you also get a lot of different class quests that start in the different cities as well, and I know that in here you get the samurai and my own red mage, as I am here. There you go. Have a bit of a heal. And the music in this game, it really does set the scene, and when you get closer to the people as well, I don't know if you can hear it, but you'll start hearing a murmuring of a crowd, and I think that's quite a nice touch. Sounds like everybody's having a bit of a conversation. So we've covered all of this, and that just leads back out into Central Thanalan, is that? Yeah. We are going to go to Central Thanalan, so I'll come out this gate after we've been upstairs. But I'm going to show you the palace and the sort of posh area and whatnot. And then we'll go to Central Thanalan, and then we'll go to Eastern Thanalan. No, sorry, we'll do Central, we'll do Western, then we'll do Eastern, and then we'll finish with Northern. Because Northern used to be, in the base game, in A Realm Reborn, it was the endgame zone. It was the zone that you went to, just like when you first got to level 49, when the max level was 50, that was the area you went to, and you would do the fate train, and you would hope that the big fates were up, because you could get a full level out of doing that, so you just blitz through the zone. And you can already tell they've rolled out the red carpet, so you're getting into a much nicer area. And this is where a lot of the late stage of Realm Reborn content happens up here. Because a lot of it is to do with why you have to leave the base zones, and it's really interesting. I'm not going to go into spoilers on that. I think if you are going to play this game, you should play for the story. Now this is the lift attendant from before, when we're on the Ruby Road Exchange. It takes you back up here, which is pretty cool. So we've got that to do. Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze. And no, it isn't Corona. I do run a test like 3 times a week. So up here, you've got... This bit takes you to the Alchemist Guild. Now, the Alchemist Guild's pretty cool. That's where you make your potions and whatnot. And I always think that alchemy in games is pretty sweet, because it really adds a sense of technology to the fantasy world, and I think they tie it in pretty well with this. I got the VID. I've got a video. I'm making a video. It's happening right now. Yeah, so you can see they've added it in, and the way you do it, you've got to compound all the ingredients together to make something better. It's effectively like a little bit of science in your magic, which I quite like. I'm not a fan of the aesthetic integrity of a game not maintaining itself, so actually having the car from the Final Fantasy 15 crossover event, not a big fan of, but it's part of the game, so you live with it. But having a little bit of science in your magic's pretty good. I have Ban with me now, and me and Ban are going to do some roulettes as well while we're waiting. So Ban, if you want to let me know in the party chat what roulettes you want to do first, we'll sign up for them. If anybody else is on Odin or on Light server as well, hit me up and we'll do it. But up here is the Imperial Palace, or the Eternal Palace, or whatever they call it. It's the palace. Royal Promenade. And you come up here and you've got to get all dressed up, and the way they get you all dressed up in this game is you get an earring. That's it. I could turn up dressed like this, full swords. Okay. So yeah, you can dress up in full swords, and as long as you're wearing the correct earring, they're like, yeah, in you come. You're all good. We're not going to pat you down. Safety first. And yeah, so now it just does a bit of a walk around, and you go back down the stairs and whatnot, and you end up back where we were. Or you just... There you go. Here's the stage, in fact. This is where it was. There you go, in the gold court. That's where that's from before. For anybody that was watching, that's where the sorry about this, 2 seconds. Right, we're just settling which roulette we're going to start on. So we're going to do 50, 60, 70 dungeons, so you're going to get to see some of those. Hey, anytime, Tony, anytime. I appreciate it. I know that we're all kind of small streamers and we all stick together, so I'm more than happy to help out as well. Let me know next time you go live as well, and if I've got some people in with me, I'll come and raid you. Because we all should stick together like that. It is really good. Anyway, it's time to leave the safety of the city, and we're going to venture out into the unknown. Or rather, the very known, because I've done this a million times. So we're going to head into central Thanalan now. Now that is a really cool outfit before we go. I like the look of that. And I bet you it doesn't work on Red Mage either. So here we go. Get a Thal to... Thal, by the way, is the god of merchants in this game. So we're going to cruise around in style, so... In a full fantasy game, I am riding a convertible. That's right. A flying convertible, because where we're going, we don't need roads. Remember it. And there's a fun video by a guy called Carbot as well. If you watch his video on it, he does the early Final Fantasy 14. So because he did a lot of World of Warcraft ones, but now he's done like a little cartoon of the early game Final Fantasy 14. You see him walk up to these little like marmots and ladybirds. He just hits one and he just starts leveling up all the time. And I'm like, yeah, that really sums up the early game in this. But we're in central Thanalan now, right? Now Thanalan itself, when 1.0 happened and they decided to break the game to remake it, which it really needed because 1.0 was terrible, they basically released a dragon from the moon. There was 2 moons in the sky, and now there's one, because one of them was a fake moon that actually housed the dragon Bahamut, who came out and wrecked everything. And the area that got hit the worst in the calamity, I would say it's either this or Corthius, where Ishgard is, and we'll talk that later. Bahamut's awesome. I like Bahamut. Bahamut's cool. So yeah, you start off, and a lot of your first quests take you out here. Bahamut is who, Bahamut rather is in this is for me who I forgot what the dragon's name is in WoW now. Deathwing wishes he could be. That's where I was going. That's what I was finishing it with. So yeah, it got hit pretty hard with the calamity, so it changed a lot of the landscape and destroyed a lot of it, because this used to be just a big sort of trading post. That's where it came from, and it was all based on money, and you can see the architecture over there. When I mentioned the sort of Middle Eastern, Persian-esque sort of style of it all, you can really see it in the buildings, and it does look pretty cool, and they've really kind of nailed it. And the music really adds to the vibe again, and I keep bringing that back because I feel like video game music gets a bit of a bad rep because it's just video game music, but actually it's really good, and it really does enhance the sort of the whole experience of the game. This is the Sultan Tree. There's quests to be involved here, and for the life of me, I couldn't find out what the law was because I didn't actually go back and read the quest text. But I think it's something to do with all the sultans and sultanas or whatever would come here and pray for guidance from whoever about leading. But these days they are, as I said before, more of a figurehead. And the reason why a lot of Thanalan, like central Thanalan at least, actually sets up is to do with this rail, because there's a lot of mining here, and one of the dungeons that you go into quite early is a mine, and they set up this train station and eventually a camp up that we'll go up to in the north of this sort of area became the central hub, which is actually where the Aetheryte is based in this area. So if you do teleport here, that's where you're going to end up. So you can see Some noobs killing these. Yeah, the fact that he's got Wanderer on there, by the way, means that he's visiting Odin from a different server for anybody that doesn't know. Yeah, they're visiting from a different... They are looking to add that into the full like data center, so you can go data center to data center, but at the moment it is just data center specific. So each data center has a number of different servers on it, and if you're on one of those servers, I'm on Light, for example, so anybody in any of the other Light servers, like Shiva or Lich, can visit me, I can visit them. It's a good way if you can't get on the same server exactly as your friends, you can still game together, and that's pretty cool. So anyway, let's carry on. You can see that obviously with it being a desert, there's not a lot of water, so any water that there is, you can see that they really do set up camps and whatnot. And there is an interesting mechanic in this game of the hunting log that you get with your early class, where you come around and some of these will have little marks on the head, so while you're questing along, you'll go over and you'll kill a couple of huge hornets or some star marmots or whatever, and you get extra experience for it. It's a really good way to level up really quickly when you're new. But we're going to come up to... It's a little, like, bar on the way here. The Coffin and Coffin, and you can play a triple triad, and there's fates and whatnot, and there's also a few quests that take you around here, just to introduce you to the area, because the game is very good at that when you start. It introduces you to the history and the lore of whatnot of the game by playing the game, which is pretty cool. And yes, Kirsty, if you are watching, I have not challenged him to triple triad. They can go on the list with literally everybody else. And you can see they've got like little lookouts here, and this whole mining system here, rail system here, is to go into all the different mines. And as I say, the earliest mine that you go into is Copper Bell, and that's actually a quest. But you can see even here, like the whole thing is set up. This is the main station, like where mines all come together. They'll offload here to get traded to go elsewhere, or they'll go into the main city itself through that tunnel and down there. But it feels like they've really kind of condensed it. You're going to steal my account and get me some cards. I actually have quite a few cards. Let's have a look. Where do I find it? Is it here? It's here. Right. Card decks. Nope. I've got... Yeah, you can see I play. I'm a pro. There you go. I have 84. See? That's more than I thought I had. But there's a little camp up here as well. And these guys are like mercenaries, I seem to remember. And you end up coming up here because they get sent around. And a lot of these guys in the sort of red armor here work for the Syndicate. So they're called the Brass Blades. And to be honest, they're a bunch of dickheads. I'll just say it as it is. They get paid a lot to effectively bully the rest of the populace. I mean, this guy is obviously a legitimate businessman. He's not all making backcountry weed. No, not today. Not hiding in a cave making weed at all. Because Jesse, it's time to cook. The fate system for everybody that sees these jumping in is like special events that you dive into, and they're really good at getting you leveled up as well. And then down here as well, you've got a big water source, which, as we're actually over here, and I know I said we were going to do Western Thanalan first, but Western Thanalan feels like it has the bulk of the content for this. We're going to go to Eastern Thanalan instead. Now, Eastern Thanalan has a really interesting sort of thing. It's where you meet your first primal as well during the early adventures. The absolute legend that is Ifrit, because he's in every Final Fantasy game ever, in some way, shape or form. And Final Fantasy is quite good at that. They reuse a lot of characters, even though the settings are different, and even though the stories are different, and even though the world might not necessarily even be the same world, although we can come back to that later on. You've got Camp Drybone here, and as you can tell, this whole area is just arid. It really does double down on the desert sort of effect, but it's not nearly as bad for me as somewhere like Tatooine in Star Wars The Old Republic, or Knights of the Old Republic for anybody that's played those. I found that Tatooine was... Right up until then, I really enjoyed playing as Dark Lord of the Sith, because who doesn't want to be Dark Lord of the Sith? It's the dream. But then you get there, and it's like hitting a wall, because it's so dull. At least here, it's not that bad. And you can see this is where they've got the They call it the Lich Yard. But we're going to have to pause it there because it's go time. We're about to go and do some level 50, 60 or 70 dungeon. Hopefully it's something fun. Hopefully. It'd be really good if it was Thanalan based. It won't be, but it would be nice. Okay, we've got Hullbreaker Isle, which is a training setup done by the Grand Companies. If you remember me talking about the Immortal Flames before, it's for people like those. This is going to be quite fun. I have not done this in years, but I do seem to remember there was... Is this the one with the traps, maybe? But while we're here anyway, I'll explain a little bit about Red Mage, the class that I'm playing. I am a caster melee. As opposed to a melee caster. I'm basically a hybrid class. I cast magic, but I also can run in and attack with a sword. And my goal is to get these two bars up here as full as I can until it kicks in and I get to do extra special sword attacks. And I know somewhere my brother is laughing at me right now, because I did say the phrase extra special sword attacks. They are updating the AoE of Red Mage as well in Endwalker, and I've got to say I am super excited about that. This is the advantage of Red Mage though. Even when it's hitting the fan elsewhere, Red Mage can get out of it and run in and still attack, which is great. You also get dual cast. Now dual cast is fantastic. Dual cast is brilliant. Basically I can hit my first attack really slowly. But it makes my next attack instant, and you've got to look at your cast times. For example, that has a cast time of 4.59 seconds. That has a cast of 1.83 seconds. So you cast that first because it takes half the time of the other one, and then your next attack's instant, and you can go into bigger attacks. So it's all about managing that. It's all about managing your timings and your moves, and it's really quite... For me, it's quite a simple class to play, but a difficult class to master, and I like that about games. I don't want to feel like I need a PhD just to play a video game. I wouldn't mind if I wanted to go really try hard on it, that I could... If I put the effort in, I'd be better than other people playing the same class, but I think the idea of being able to pick up a class and just play it, and at least do relatively enough, it is how it should be for me. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying my tour of Uldar so far as well, and watching me and Ban do some roulettes. And for those of you that missed the PvP one on Tuesday, you missed Ban absolutely kicking my ass, because if there's one thing that is true, I am terrible at PvP in this game now. Absolutely awful. Now you see the ground markers on there, I'm going to try and avoid them because that's damage I just don't need to take. And you can see I've maxed out my bars on there, which is good, because I think we're about to get to a boss battle, which is, I recall, is Big Monkey. It's Big Monkey with some bananas, so I've got to watch out for the bananas. But I'm going to show you the sword moves now. But because I'm synced down, I don't have all my moves, so if you're watching it and you're expecting big damage, well, I'm playing the wrong class for that. Ah, no, it's a different boss. Right, I must have been thinking of a different dungeon. I almost feel a little bit like my wife there, who every time we can go and do a dungeon, we can come out of the dungeon, we can go straight back into the dungeon, and she's like, so which boss is this then? Right, we should be getting another... There we go. So yeah, as I say, this stream, while it's primarily about MMORPGs and whatnot, it's about pretty much whatever you guys want. The chat is the main feature of this. If you guys want to ask any questions or anything as I'm going along as well, let us know. I'll answer them if I can. If I can't, I'll tell you I don't know, but I will try and find out for you. And it doesn't even need to be MMO based. I also, as I've said on pretty much every stream that I've done with this, I started this to get over a few issues I have with my own mental health and my own personal image and my own sort of shortcomings. So I'm also happy to talk about mental health as well, because I think more people should really talk about mental health. It is a very important subject, and I get that it can be awkward to talk about, but it is important to talk. There we go. Oh no, I thought that was it there. I thought we killed them all. Why are carrots orange? That's actually, I believe it's to do with genetic engineering, from what I remember. I'm sure they used to be a different colour. They used to be either white or something else, and then they basically genetically engineered them, but through like crossbreeding. So there you go. There's also the part where I could be talking absolute shite. Who knows? But yeah, I've played Final Fantasy XIV for a number of years. I actually started back when A Realm Reborn was the only content. When I first joined the game, Leviathan was the current primal, and World of Darkness was just getting ready to come out. Which is one of the Alliance raids, which you will hopefully see an Alliance raid tonight. We'll see how the stream's looking, but we are going for it. Also, welcome everyone to the channel as well. I don't know if I managed to catch us all because I had to make a cake at the start. If you haven't already and you are enjoying the content, please like the channel. Every view, every like, every part of it goes. Everything that I'm doing is going back into the channel, because this is something that I'm quite proud of. I'm proud of myself for doing this. So, as I say, it's all appreciated. If you do have Amazon Prime as well, you can subscribe to the channel for free, which is a big deal to me, because anything that I get from this channel is just going back into the channel, whether that's to buy games or to improve the setup that I've got going on here. It's all about just trying to give you guys the best experience that I can. I'm also wanting to look at making some YouTube videos based on MMO content. So tonight's kind of a test run for the travel channel that I want to do. So you're getting to see that I know a little bit about the game, and I'm wanting to sort of splice it up with the real world sort of equivalents and that sort of thing. So if there are any things that you think that I need to do better on as well, let us know, because I'm always ready for feedback. As I say, I am really new to this. Effectively, I did it for a week, went on holiday, and then I came back, and now I'm doing it again. I'm trying to stick to more of a schedule, so I will be streaming Sundays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays, and I've said that in a really weird order. We'll call it a new order, if you will. $5 points for Hufflepuff. I'm a Slytherin, mate. I'm glad it's not Gryffindors, though. They're overrated and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. The good thing about doing roulettes, by the way, is it does let you get back into older content. It keeps older content relevant for you. So we could all be different levels in here. I know for a fact that I'm currently max level, for example. And just by being max level, you'd think that doing something like this would be a waste of my time being in this sort of area, but it isn't. It's still relevant because I get things for doing it. What do I do with this? Ah, the ground's covered in ice. That's all. That's nothing. Because once again, I can attack from range, or I can get in close if I need to, so there isn't really anything to worry about. I thought we were supposed to stay behind them, but we're not, because they spread out. Ah, I missed them all. I got hit with all of them there. That was not good. Me saying, oh yeah, it's easy because I can do this. And then I'd go ahead and do that because I'm a dumbass. It's a shame as well because later on, in fact I might have it now as well. I do, that is good. I can actually heal myself as well on this class. It really is the jack of all trades. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, whenever you kill an enemy, you get the treasure chest at the end and you get gear for it, but I obviously don't need any of this, so I'm just going to pass it. And that'll roll. And I used to give myself the moniker of the king of low rolls, because if anybody was going to roll a 1, it'd be me. And it'd be on something that I desperately need, because I'm good like that. Oh, look at Ban showing off like he's some sort of dragoon. The fact that I don't do a superhero landing there, by the way, really, it does upset me a little bit. I won't pretend otherwise. Oh, this one's the one with the Kraken at the end now. I remember. We are about to release the Kraken. So yeah, the whole purpose of this is that it's set up as a training dungeon while everything else is going on in the world. We had to basically come here and do this. And the Grand Company has all decided to set up together, and I think it's before you do the end of A Realm Reborn. No, it's not. It's Heaven's Ward. It is Heaven's Ward. Yeah. I'm really going to have to brush up on that if I'm going to be doing these tours. But while I do have people here and that, I am going to let you know on Sunday I'm going to be doing the new player experience of Guild Wars 2. It's a game that I should love, in theory. It has pretty much all the elements that you'd think that I like in a game. I'll let you know now that I don't particularly enjoy Guild Wars 2, but I have been asked to do the new player experience in it, so I am going to be doing that. Because I'm not just a Final Fantasy XIV streamer, I'm a variety MMO streamer, and if you do have any other MMOs that you want me to play that isn't World of Warcraft, because who really wants to go back to that, let me know, and I'll definitely take a look at it. Ah, that's why it wasn't working. I pressed the wrong button. It's clearly gone well. It's quite a fun thing here. They really do tease the little Mistbeard reveal here that you get. They tease that in the game, and it's quite fun. But Yeah, you knock them to the outside because otherwise they do a big AoE and it hurts. Which is also a mechanic that they added into Taldagor in World of Warcraft. Time for some sword sniping. In later expansions, doing that creates a bigger attack down here, which is really good. It's really useful. And then you start to get a big chain off of that where you can do a lot more damage. But there you go, we've done it. And then you always get the opportunity to give a player a commendation. And because I was not really paying attention and injured myself a couple of times like an idiot, I am going to give it to the healer. So here we are back in Thanalan. I am going to queue us for the next roulette as well, which will be the ever classic leveling dungeons. So as I say, if you are online at all and you do want to come level with us, let me know and I'll add you to the party and we can go leveling roulette. But right now we are at the Church of Saint Adma Landama, which is a great name. Obviously, you've got different people here. I actually have a quest to do here, but I'm not going to do it on this stream. Because I'll be honest, I forgot which one it is. But obviously you've got all these graves around here that'll be to do with the Calamity, and there's like important people around here and whatnot. And there's loads of enemies. So let's skip this. Back into Camp Drybone, which is effectively like a bit of a refugee camp at the moment as well. There's a lot of people coming this way from Alamigo, which is another area you go to later in the game, but you first find out about it all here, and there's a big kickoff. And I did see a really fun screenshot somebody posted in here, a bit of a meme, where they turned themselves into a Lalafell and changed their name to They're Taking the Hobbits Too, so that right there you'd have They're Taking the Hobbits to Isambard, which I thought was quite fun. But from Camp Drybone, we'll go up this way. Because all of this, surprisingly, is actually it's a ruined city from an ancient civilization that long ago was destroyed, and it was only uncovered because a piece of the moon fell out of the sky and created this big ass crater down here. So I thought that's pretty cool. That was something that I found out as well. And also in central Thanalan, the bit where you're mining with the Copperbell mines, that is actually the ruins of a city-state that used to be rivals with Uldar, but Uldar destroyed them in a war. So there you go. This is the Golden Bazaar, so this is effectively just a load of merchants and whatnot, just for people that are passing through and exploring the ruins. I don't know why this is the golden one and the other one's the silver one, but we'll find the silver one later, and the silver one's more important to the story. So we've done the royal thing, the invisible city. Ban's just giving me a great shout for a stream that I will do at some point. I'm going to get a team together and we're going to go and do Palace of the Dead, which is effectively what World of Warcraft's Torghast should have been. And you'll get to see why Torghast was such a failure. But anyway, this bridge here, High Bridge, this is the main trade route between Thanalan and the Shroud and Gridania. So this is like the major trade route that starts all the way in western Thanalan, and it cuts from Limsa, where we were for the islands and whatnot on the pirate adventure, And whatever trade they do comes through Uldar and goes to the Gridania, and Gridania goes the other way as well, so it's all really important that way. And then you've got a temple over here that is to Thal, I believe. It's a little shrine to Thal, who is the god of merchants and selling in this game. And there you go, Thal's Respite. And he is a really important character in terms of the lore in this game. Back out here. We used to do chocobo racing on here as well before the Gold Saucer existed, which is another place we will go today because it is technically part of Thanalan. So we are going to hit the casino. So let's go. We're going to go to a really fun part though, where the calamity happened when Bahamut was released and the moon fell and everybody died, and it really changed the landscape. And it's in here because this is where the part of Dalamund the moon fell, and it turned everything into crystals, and that's really awesome when I can find my way in again because there is a little door around here. I could fly over, but I'm just going to fly over. But you can see it all here, the Burning Wall it's called. And everything on here is a crystal, and you've got to run around the crystals, and you run over the crystals as bridges until you get to the very bottom. You can see, yeah, you can see that the whole place was just obliterated because a chunk of the moon fell. It completely changed the landscape. It changed everything about Uldar. It changed a lot of the culture as well. It was basically their way of resetting the game in a lore-friendly way. But there's also beast tribes that roam Thanalan, and there's beast tribes that roam all of Eorzea. Some are good, some are bad. The bad ones here are the Amalja, as you can see here. The Amalja are the lizard men, and their primal is the ever so mighty Ifrit. And you've got to come through all these, and this is where you end up getting it. And the final prayer over there, I believe, is where they actually do the summoning. But anyway, that is Eastern Thanalan done. So now we're going to head back through to Central again, and head through Central to Western Thanalan, which any new player will remember Western Thanalan because there is a meme in this game to do with the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, who are effectively the protagonists, and you are their weapon. They just send you wherever you need to go to mess things up. The leader of the Waking Sands every single quest, because you get sent there and back and there and back, and it's always pray return to the Waking Sands, so you have to run all the way back, and you could be in the arse end of nowhere and still have to run all the way back. So it got really annoying that they added that in, but I think they've cut it down now, but I wouldn't know, I've not experienced it in such a long time. Oh, this is part of the seasonal event. I can go kill that for some extra stuff. But I'm not gonna. Oh, they added teleports. They've added a teleport to the Waking Sands. That doesn't make it better, that just makes it less bad. Doesn't make it, sorry, that makes it better. It doesn't make it good, it makes it less bad. You can see that the railway tracks lead all the way through to Western Thanalan as well, because that is the whole purpose of this place. It is a trade hub. That is exactly what it is. So they then go into that mountain and end up in Western Thanalan, and it is a trade point between Limsa and Gridania, and they have to cross the desert, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to do my best to avoid all the spoilers as well, but as you can see here, we're on the other side of Uldar, the city-state now, on the 80 Sins of Sasimo, and I don't know why they've called it that, but it's quite an interesting name. Maybe because they decided he was fat and he couldn't get up the stairs, who knows. You can see, we're just driving around in my car now. This bit here leads to the housing estate, And one of the streams that I am going to do at one point, I'm going to do an MTV Cribs style tour of the housing zones, and you're going to get to see all the different houses that people can put together on this server, and I'm just going to pick them at random, and hopefully we'll find some good ones. It's going to be like a cross between Cribs and Storage Hunters. And I'm going to do that for each of the housing zones. But you can see that this is Hammerley. It's just a little station, and you can see that this is where they offload all of the products that are coming into Uldar from Vesper Bay, which we'll go to in a bit. But you've also got this bit down here, which leads you to the Silver Bazaar. Now, if you recall, we did see the Golden Bazaar before, and I don't know why that one's gold and this one's silver when this one's clearly better, but it is what it is. Oh, but B rank hunt. You get special hunts to do weekly in this game as well, and they'll have that little blue star next to them on there. And you just track them down and kill them. And you get extra stuff for it. But here's the Silver Bazaar, and it looks so much nicer than the other one. But this is very much run by the Syndicate as well, and you've got a few quests to do here, and this is where it proves that the Syndicate are full of dickheads. There's a little port down here as well, and that port over there is Vesper Bay. And that, right in the distance over there, I believe that's something to do with Limsa. Or is it one of the Castrums, maybe? Hard to tell. The Castrums were areas where the evil empire of Galamald invaded and set up their bases, and a lot of the early story of Final Fantasy XIV is fighting Galamald to push back the invasion and getting everybody to work together, because for whatever reason they don't like each other, and yeah, it is what it is. Now, this is Nodifica's Wells, which is just a brief stop that you come down here. It's got like a fishing area, different monsters, and it turns out before they got rid of fall damage and you could die from it, you could die from falling off there. I proved that once or twice. And then you come over the bridge here, and this is into the next part, because originally I think they built this later on for Horizon's Edge. They had this originally in 1.0, and you had to cross down there, come down here, and then come back up this side, and I think they built the bridge later, which makes more sense. So, we mentioned before the mine that is classic, the Copper Bell mines. They're around here. This is where it used to be the ruins of a city-state that basically decided to go to war with Uldar, and Uldar used their money and whatnot to buy a load of mercenaries and straight up murdered everyone, so buried them underground. So that's always fun. Here we have Horizon, the big teleport, and I've lost count of the amount of times that I've had to teleport here, because before they added in the Vesper Bay teleports, this is the way you came unless you were in Limsa, and then you could just get the boat to Vesper Bay, but nobody ever knew that. Or at least I didn't, and you'd forget all about that. You've got the footfalls down here. There's a fun little quest down here that I have done, but it's a one that doesn't tell you where to go on the map, and you have to figure it all out yourself, and it's really like deciphering clues and stuff, and that's pretty cool. There's some more people in the brass blades there as well, and they're just not cool people. Nobody likes the brass blades. They suck. But with them being Syndicate backed, they're kind of the mercenary police force. You've got Vesper Bay down here, and this is where all the goods come in from. Sorry, this is where they go fishing here. This is all to do with fishing. The goods that come in from Lenosia and Limsa, sorry, come around this way. And you can see that this is a lot easier flying, but when you get down here, you end up in Vesper Bay with a good statue of one of the Syndicate members. Now, I can't remember if that's Teleji or Lolorito. Can't remember at all. It's one of them, but it's the one that owns all of Vesper Bay, and that's how he ends up on the Syndicate. So there you go. This is where you get the ferry to Limsa, which is obviously those islands all the way over there. I do think that's one of the castrums. I think that's to do with that later on, but we'll go have a look in a minute. And then here it is, the new player's hell itself. The Waking Sands. Let's go inside. Let's have a look inside the Waking Sands. The main plot point of the entire early game of Final Fantasy XIV happens within these walls. This is it. This is where everything comes together. I wonder if there's actually anyone in here. This might be a spoiler. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Yeah, there's nobody here. But this is where you spend most of your time when you're questing. Oh, it's ironic that leveling roulette pops while I'm in here as well, because this is like the leveling hub right here. You'll spend so much time here in the early game. So much. Oh dear God. Ah. I blame you, Ban. I blame you. So, welcome to the worst dungeon in all of leveling. Aurum Vale. The reason why this is the worst dungeon in early leveling is because you're only level 49, so you're not strong enough to have all of your skills, and a lot of classes at this point were missing skills that they desperately needed. The mobs do a lot of damage, and tanks aren't quite geared up for it because you're still in your level 49 gear, not your level 50 gear. So you're like partially geared normally when you're doing this, and it's just a nightmare. But you only do what you can. I think, do I have aggro? I don't, but the tank came to run next to me, so that's fine. I'll make that work. Let's step out of that. They have nerfed this dungeon. They've made it significantly easier once you get past this opening little pool, because a lot of the problems here as well were tanks were used to face rolling a lot of the content, and you got quite a large difficulty spike. So what you should do if you wanted to avoid the big toad and we don't end up pulling everything is drag these right round here, which is what they've done. The tanks just told us there, or rather the healers just told us there that it's their first time here. They're in for a rude awakening. So we'll figure this out. So yeah, the healer's new to this dungeon, but to be honest, a lot of the problems in this dungeon is normally down to the tank, because as the tank you are supposed to control pretty much what goes on. Now the tank's pulled the mobs up there, which is a bad thing because we're all back here and we have to get round without pulling that now. So we really do need him to hurry up because this tank's about to die. And unfortunately, because I'm synced under level 50, I don't have access to my heals. So this dungeon's about to get quite rough. But they have made the next part of this dungeon significantly easier on us, which is good, because the boss mob now actually has like some sort of visual mechanic to let you know that it's going to happen, as opposed to just surprise. Oh, great. Right. Where's the tank? Because we need to just go for the boss now. When you get stacks in this fight, and when you get so many of them, you need to eat one of the fruits that's lying around the side of the arena. You can see them there labelled marble fruit. Because otherwise you start taking ever-increasing dot damage, and eventually your healer can't keep up and you die. So... that gold lung there, that's the debuff. That's what we're all waiting for. Right, I forgot. Don't have my entire rotation. That's not annoying at all. I don't know why you did that. I think that was a misclick. Yeah, once my stacks go up another one, then I'll grab one of the fruits and we can carry on. But hopefully we'll burn this boss down quite fast. There we go. I'm on 3 stacks now, so I need to. There we go. You can see the debuff's now gone. So I'm back in the fight. Let's go again. And that added a nice little bit because these never used to be here, but that added 4 marble fruits at the end so that every member of the team can get rid of their own debuff as they go along. Which is a nice little touch. It's the little things. Okay, now we're just waiting for the healer. The healer didn't know about the mechanic there with the fruits, so they were sat trying to debuff, get rid of the debuff off themselves. Now, what you should do here is kill those little fruits, because otherwise they spawn extra mobs, and that can get real annoying real fast. So this is just a mini boss as well, and this whole dungeon is just designed to give you debuffs, and if you stand in front of them and you get hit with they do an attack called Bad Breath, and if you get hit with that, it's just the worst. So this is nowhere near as bad as it used to be, and it's fun that you get the twin belt of magic, because belts are going away at the end of this expansion. You're no longer going to be able to do them. So obviously everybody's trousers are going to fall down in Endwalker. Boom, dad jokes. People thought they were coming here for content, and instead they're getting terrible, terrible jokes and Aurum Vale, which is also a terrible, terrible joke. It got such a bad rep in A Realm Reborn. Nowadays people are like, oh, it's really easy, it doesn't matter, you can get through it, but at the time it was literally the worst case scenario for any leveling roulette, to the point where if anybody got it in leveling roulette, they would just leave. You couldn't get a team if you actually had to do this for a quest. Nobody wanted to do it. It was just the worst. They've nerfed the amount of damage that enemies have. They've nerfed the amount of HP that they have. they've added mechanics in so you can see stuff. They've made it a better experience overall, to be honest. But for those of us who played back then, we haven't forgotten. We know the pain. You'll see some visual representation of this character as well, which is quite good. Like, if you keep an eye on the floor, you'll get to see he's got some mechanics where you need to come in. He's got those sort of 100 to some things. It shows you the sort of cone of hit there that never used to exist. Yeah, his attacks never used to have those visual markers that he was doing the attacks. And, yeah, you used to just get absolutely wrecked. It was horrible. So that's where a lot of the complaints about this dungeon came from as well. So they added those in and made it a lot more user-friendly. And overall, I think that's pretty good, because they tried to keep these sort of like garish markers out to show you the moves and whatnot. But they also don't allow third-party like add-ons, like in World of Warcraft, where you've got like bigwigs or whatever, bigwigs and BDM, which are literally a must, and they design the fights as though you actually are using those, because you literally can't do it without it, and it tells you which moves come in and whatnot. Here they have to add in much better visual representation so you can see it better, and because they don't allow those sort of things, because they don't want like DPS meters and stuff to be a thing in this game, which adds a lot to the community because it makes it less toxic. You get a lot less people complaining about low DPS and not taking people, and people get shit on less, because even though you can have the third party things, you can't talk about them, like Fight Club. Unfortunately, it can also go the other way, because there's such a thing as toxic positivity as well. So you get a lot of people with the ever classic meme in this game: you don't pay my sub, you don't tell me how to play. Even if you offer advice on how to improve their class, say I main red mage, and say that we had another red mage in here that's doing their rotation wrong, and I know the rotation, I could say, have you tried doing this button and this button? And a lot of times you'll get a, oh no, I didn't know that was an increase, or you'll get a, you don't pay my sub, fuck off. So I'm going to try those on. Look at that. Look at them legs. Tell I don't skip leg day. Yeah, the whole aesthetic of Red Mage, though, as much as I love the idea of a spell sword, and that is the class that I want to play, the aesthetic of Red Mage I'm not really a fan of, because it's very much like a fencer, it's very much like a pirate, effectively. And I find that a lot of the glamours and a lot of the costumes and even a lot of the stances and things like that for the casting classes in Final Fantasy XIV work so much better on female character models than they just do. So the fact that I'm playing a big burly Highlander male here, I just look stupid. But it is what it is. I'm gonna hit with that. Ooh, that was close. That was close. Healer's dead. Oh no, this is about to get bad. Healer is dead. Do not pull. Do not pull, the healer's dead. Oh, hell. Oh, okay. We might actually get through this without the healer, but the tank will need to sit down. That's another problem as well, is that the dungeons can drop gear for any class as well. So you can end up getting dungeon loot for a class that nobody in the dungeon actually plays. As you saw there, we got a bow, and that's used by Bard in this game, and not one of us is playing Bard. So unless one of us was swapping to Bard or leveling a Bard, it's kind of pointless. So I wish they would add that in. I wish they would add like almost like a check of which classes you're playing in that dungeon, and just give you loot for those classes. That's something I think would be better, because ultimately we've just got a load of loot there that we can't use, and that doesn't feel good. This boss monster here has a similar mechanic to what we've just witnessed as well, so we've got to get ready to heal ourselves after 2 stacks. We've got to get ready to heal ourselves, particularly with a new healer as well. Alright, here we go. Yeah, it's so annoying that I don't have my big combo, I don't have my number 3 hit, because it just takes so much away from the class. And that is just not good. It makes it feel incomplete, which is really annoying, because a lot of other classes in here, like Ban for example, at least have his combo of 1, 2, 3. But when I get into melee, I just don't have that, and I know it's because this is primarily a caster, but it just makes it feel a bit bad, to be honest. But this is like the last of the beginner dungeons, really. I do feel like when you get to your first one at Cutter's Cry, when you get your first job crystal, that's kind of your intermediate stage of the game, and then this one's really where it starts to kick into a different gear, and it really was like a sort of, almost like a wall of people trying to do it. There we go, did it. Orenvale's done, and I'm going to be kind and give the healer a comm. They did struggle, they were new, but as far as I'm concerned, they deserved it. You should always try and leave a nice impression with the people that you're leaving behind as well, because you never know when you're going to see them again. So, anyway, that is that done. So, back to the Waking Suns. I think the next roulette me and Ban are going to do is... Ban, do you want Trials or do you want Alliance? Not technically true. You also get a 4, 5, 6. You get 2 different types of 1, 2, 3. Yeah, welcome to the Waking Suns. I'm going to leave this place in disgust now, because Waking Suns. Well, it's next on the list, so we're doing Trials. That is the noobiest place in all of noobiness, right there, the Waking Suns. And you spend your entire life there as a Final Fantasy 14 player in the early game. You first run into Tataru here as well. Tataru, who is the only nice Lalafell, and anybody that thinks otherwise is wrong. There are no other nice Lalafels. They're all hiding something. Vicious little bastards. I got quite a few like hunt marks in here when I was leveling as well. There's quite a few in here that you need to do. And as far as I remember, there is a dungeon, or is it Castrum Meridium, or maybe? But that's what takes you up here. Yeah, you can see that this is an area that was taken over by the Imperials. You can see them all here. The 5th Legion. Our band said Nanamo is a good Lalafell. I don't know. I think she's going to stab me at some point. But you come here to do a trial that is Castrum Meridium, and they are changing it in the 6.0, so it'll be a bit tougher. They're going to like anti-nerf it, which is quite good. They're going to buff the living crap out of it, because right now, if we were to go in, because it's level 49, but you actually get synced to level 50. So you go in there and you're absolutely massively overgeared. You've got all your skills and you just go in, and the entire fight takes about 30 seconds. It's brilliant. There is a frog dude randomly. Yeah. Yep. This is me going around the world in my flying car as well. Now the good thing about Trials Roulette is, because it's an 8-man thing, 8-man content, the queue goes a bit faster, so that's always good. Because I am trying to pack as much into the streams as I can. Try and give you content. I'm just going to say, Blizzard, take notes. Try and pack some content into stuff. Now we need to go to Northern Thanalan, and can I get there from here, or do I need to go to Central again? Right. We're going to go Central, and then it's Northern Thanalan, and then the Gold Saucer. And then that is the tour of Thanalan over and done with. And I do appreciate the fact that people were here for it tonight. It was just something that I wanted to do that interested me, to be honest. It let me learn a bit more about the game world as well. And hopefully I haven't been too boring with it. I do love the fact that they've added flight into this. Yeah, Dame, I'm in a flying car. Because where we're going, we don't need roads. They haven't invented them yet, but we've got flying cars. That's what I was saying. For me, aesthetic integrity in a game is really important. The fact that we're in effectively a Magitech game here, like a Magitech punk game rather, where you've got magic technology versus like medieval sort of fantasy setting. This car's really not congruent with that. It really does stick out like a sore thumb, and I know why they've added it in, because they were really pushing the promo for Final Fantasy 15. But a flying car like this, and I know you can say it's a bit of a stretch, and I know you can say it's alright, it's just Magitech, but it just doesn't fit the theme. It doesn't fit the aesthetic of the game to me. It just makes it really stand out, and not in a good way. Like, I'm aware that I can run around on a flying wolf called Fenrir, like this one. But it keeps in the aesthetic of the game. It looks like it belongs. And that matters to me, and that was a lot of the problem I had with Guild Wars 2, is that Guild Wars 2's like glamour system, its cosmetic system, some of their outfits are just horrendously outlandish and just don't suit the style of game that they've gone for. But anyway, we're in Northern Thanalan now, and this used to be the end game zone of Final Fantasy 14 back in A Realm Reborn. This and Mordona, which is a bit we'll go to in a bit later. Yeah. this is Camp Blue Frog, and again, it's a lot of camps in Thanalan because it's supposed to be quite nomadic, with it being like desert people and based a lot on old Middle Eastern culture. You used to do the fate trains around here, but the most important parts for us as players in all of this comes down to the Dalamund invasion. Now, unfortunately, they've got like a weird weather effect at the moment where it's all misty and like sandstorms, so you can't really see for a long way. But there's a big quest that happens, in there, which is pretty cool. As part of the fate train that you're supposed to do, but nobody does the fate train here anymore because it's just not necessary. It's so fast to level through your roulettes, people just skip it. But this is the cerulean processing plant. This is where all the mining happens, as I said before, with the civilization that they basically killed off because they went to war with Uldar. This is the mining and excavating and all of that, which is pretty cool. These glowing crystals obviously were never part of anything. They're glowing crystals that you see within the game now, outside of the floating city of Nim, are all from when Dalamund fell. Now, Raban's Push, this is where the fight between the Empire, Garlemald, and the Eorzean Alliance happens. And then this is Castrum Meridium. Now, Castrum Meridium is one of the story roulette quests. It's an 8-man dungeon. It's the first 8-man dungeon that you get, and there's a lot of cutscenes in it, and a lot of new players never really got to experience it because people would skip all the cutscenes and just absolutely hammer everything down because you are horrendously overgeared by the time you get there. And eventually it leads into Praetorium, which is the longest dungeon in the entire game. I swear to God, it's about 40 minutes, and it's all cutscenes. It's about 40 minutes, and about 5 minutes of it is actual gameplay. But up here it takes you into Mordona, which, as I say, Northern Thanalan, like Eastern Thanalan and Mordona, and like Corthius, they're all kind of in a similar sort of area, and in between all of them is where Dalamund fell and Barmut came from the sky. So this is where a lot of the... If you've seen the videos of the Calamity and whatnot, a lot of it happened to Uldar. Uldar got hit real bad, but actually the game doesn't show you that, because Uldar is quite an easy quest hub, effectively. And it was quite a good starting point, so originally they planned in between 1.0 and 2.0 to have Uldar pretty wrecked. A bit like when you first go into Ishgard and there's rubble everywhere. It was going to be a lot more like that, but they decided to go against that. So actually, if you watch the cutscene for the Calamity, Uldar gets hit pretty hard, but they actually just don't show it. They just ignore it in the game. They just glossed over it, and away you go. So there you go. That's quite fun. And now for the special part of the Thanalan experience. You can see we've been through all of these, and now for the final part, one of the final members of the Syndicate as well, the people that are in charge of Thanalan, of Uldar, Godbert Mandeville and his Mandeville Gold Saucer. The Mandeville Gold Saucer is one of my favourite places to go in the entire game, and I will always come back to the Gold Saucer. The Gold Saucer is brilliant. I absolutely love it. It's just full of mini games. You can just come here, you can have a laugh, and it is its own unique setting, and frankly I think more games should have this. Of course you did. Right, we're going to go all or nothing. Nothing it is, but we haven't got time for the rest. So it's time for Trials Roulette. And obviously we're just waiting for one DPS to accept. Now Ban, hopefully we don't get Warrior of Light again. Yeah, no Warrior of Light, please. Yeah, I'm with you on that, mate. I'm with you on that. Don't forget at one point as well, I am wanting to do Guild Wars 1 is a game that I wanted to play, and I'll do that on stream as well, even though I know nobody will watch it. We've got Nidhogg, right? This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. Great soundtrack though. I hope you guys can hear this on the stream because it's frankly one of the best songs in the entire game. It's called Dragon Song as well because obviously it's Big Dragon. But also at one point I am wanting to do a tabletop D&D campaign, and I might add that into like the Sunday stream instead. But I'll see how that goes if we get more people together, because I would quite like to try my hand at D&D. Really embrace my inner nerd and go for it. But this song is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I love this song. There's a whole scene when before you fight Nidhogg and he flies down to the bridge, and the whole scene with this song in the background. And if you've not played this game, I'd recommend playing this game because this song is just brilliant. Oh, of course, he's flying off now. And away we go. Ooh, that hurt. Yeah, the whole scene in this with the fight and the flying on the bridge, and it's just absolutely brilliant. And if you've not played the game yet, you should, because that one scene alone, like the music that I'm listening to now, going back in and hearing Dragon Song again, it's fantastic. And yeah, it's just so good. And it has more impact for me having played the game and having experienced it. And frankly, those people that ignore the cutscenes and that this song won't have any impact on them, they'll just think it's a good song, and it is a good song. But when you have that emotional attachment to it, it just matters so much more. And I found the gap. Yeah. At least it's not Warrior or Light this time. Oh, it's taking pity on me and not making me do the mechanics. That's new. Normally, if you can get 3 mechanics in a row and they're supposed to go to different people, if you've got me in your team, don't worry about it. They ain't going to different people. And now we get the dragon again. Ban, you've run into the fire. That's gonna hurt. Alright, I need to get out of there so that I can res that healer. I can't res that healer. Okay. This is going well. We need to get that other healer rezzed, but there's nothing I can do. Nah, that's it. That's the end of this fight. Honestly, if I was that paladin, you might as well die. There's no point going through your rotation at this point. You ain't gonna solo it. All he's doing now is just prolonging the inevitable. It'd be faster for him to just die and we can get back on with it. Get the team back up and go again. For anybody who's just joined in, apparently my character's tired and just wants to take a nap. Here we go. Actually, just look at how many sprouts there are in this. Okay, all that mechanic. I like the fact that Final Fantasy XIV does that, by the way. It introduces you to the mechanics of the fight early on, and then the rest of the fight is just them showing you like variations of the mechanics. That's pretty good. Can avoid that and avoid the fire, and we should be good there. Really, you want to take out one of the others and not this one first. This one just runs around. It's not really an issue. It's one of the other ones that does a lot of AoE that you need to take out, because that just hurts the entire team. But if that's what they've marked. Now I know I've got a full bar and I could go in for my full rotation there, but why? We're about to phase shift. Alright, we're back where we started, but at least I've got full bars now, so straight into the rotation. And so far nobody's died yet. So that's definitely an improvement on last time, when both me and Ban did. Timed that horribly. Oh crap. Alright, here we go. That is horrible placement of that one in the middle. Alamon might be the one where... No, it's not the one where we stack, so that's good. We do need the healers to be paying attention to Akmon though, that's the one where we stack. If they're not paying attention to that, it is gonna hurt. Because it's just a lot of damage. So it's coming back down as the dragon now. Right, it's on me. I'm just going to heal myself as well. Fine, you can get topped off. There you go, pal. Don't say I've never done that for you. But that's it. Fight's over. We've won. With the second attempt, we've got through it. We did it, guys. Nailed it. I'm going to go different, and I'm going to give it to the other red mage for being a red mage. Finished doing my mini cockpot. Go with that. Hey, 252. I'll take that, why not? This is the only option we've got for all or nothing. 360. I'll take it. It's a win. Right. For the people in the chat, me and Ban have got one more roulette that we would do. It's Alliance roulette. And now I can either do that or I can call the stream here. It's up to you guys. Because I don't mind going to do Alliance roulette. In fact, you know what, I'm just going to queue us for it anyway. We can decide as we go. But while we're here as well, this whole place is owned by Godbert Mandeville. He's on the syndicate. He's one of the monetarists, but he's not one of the people that actively works against the Sultana. He actually works quite a lot in the interests of Uldar, which is pretty good. The Gold Saucer itself, they should definitely incorporate this style of content into more games. Have like a fun mini games based area that you can just go and enjoy yourself. I feel like more games should have that. We're just waiting on the queue. It's saying less than 5 minutes, and normally, recently, the big shock has been in Alliance Roulette. The DPS have been the adventurer in need, and that never happens. So that's been quite fun. Wait, it's still waiting to actually tell us where we are in the queue as well. Like, I don't even know what position we're in or how long this is going to take. So, that's weird. Normally, it at least tells you more than whatever. I'm hoping that the instance servers aren't an issue. Alright, because this is taking a while to pop, I'm gonna withdraw from there and I'm gonna go and do Leap of Faith. Ban, do you wanna come to Leap of Faith? Because I think I'm gonna go do Leap of Faith and then I'm gonna call the stream at the end of that. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. That's fine. Ban's gonna carry on doing his thing. I'm gonna go and do Leap of Faith. Just take a bit of a chill to end the stream. You guys will get to see me fall on my face a lot. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. Here we go. Now, a lot of those sort of floating crystals and stuff, I even think that these floating islands actually might have been caused by the calamity. It might have infused them with magic and stuff. But that's going to be answered in a different stream, I think, when I go and do the tour of Limsa. Because that's where these actually are. They're based in out of the Nusha, a place called the Floating Islands of Nim, I believe. They're a really cool place to just sit and chill, and if you're just in the game and you're just doing something like crafting or whatever, it's a really good place to just sit there and just admire the scenery of the game. Look at that, those guys all going the safety way, and then there's me. You can go your own way. And I got a bit too cocky. Well, damn. And we're going again. Here we go. Speedrun it. Let's go. Nyawn. Yes, I did nyawn like a race car. Failed to see what your point is. Ah, there's a jump bit there. Aha! Didn't die. Meant to do that. Obviously. Yeah, it's so fun that these are actually parts of the game that you can go to, and normally you're looking into this bit from out of there. And instead it's the other way around this time, and I think that's pretty cool. I do like that they've incorporated different parts of the game. Like the other background bits of the jumping puzzle they do in this is in Ralgar's Reach, which is a later section of this game. Oh bollocks, you can't jump up there. Ah well. Yeah, it's in Ralgar's Reach, and it's a big statue that you end up jumping up, and it's really cool that they use those bits and added them into mini games just to really just to show off what the visual artists in this game can do. That's pretty cool. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to let you know what Sunday stream is. Sunday stream is going to be the new player experience in Guild Wars 2. And I am going to be starting a little bit earlier, I think, maybe an hour earlier, about 6:30, at the request of my nephew. It was his birthday yesterday, and he's 7, and he wants me to start earlier so he can watch more of my stream before he has to go to bed. So I am going to do that for him, because he's my nephew, and I'm trying to be, you know, the fun uncle. Oh no! Oh, that is so bad. That is so bad. I was right there. It happened. Alright, we're going again. We're going again. Focus. It's game time. That is... It didn't jump. I swear I'm not normally this bad at jumping puzzles. I'm blaming it on being on the stream, because normally I absolutely breeze through this. But for whatever reason, I seem to have forgot how to play it tonight. There we go. Oh, what? This might actually be the first time I've ever failed this. And that's really gonna hurt. I've got 3 minutes. I've got one more go, basically. Let's do this. You can tell I've gone really quiet now because game face. Stupid. Game face. Gotta focus. Gotta get this right. I absolutely love jumping puzzles. They're my favourite. I love doing them. I love doing the tower in Kugane. I got to the point where I was speedrunning it. But for whatever reason tonight, I seem to have lost all form of motor skills. It's like I forgot how to play the game. It's so frustrating. Yes, we did it. We did it. First time. All those falls were just practice. We did it. First time. 57 seconds remaining. Oh man. That might be the worst I've ever actually done at this. And to do it on stream as well. It is what it is. We tried. Right. I think I'm going to call the stream there. I'm going to say thank you to everyone for being a part of it, for talking in the chat, for hopefully enjoying riding around Uldar with us in this car. I am just going to swap us back over. On here. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight. Hopefully you have been enjoying the stream. Getting affiliate this week meant the world to me because I originally started this whole stream just for myself, really, just to get over some hang-ups that I've got on myself, on the way that I look and the way that I talk and the way that I sound, and I don't like any of it. So the fact that people are taking the time to get me and watch my streams and to actually hopefully enjoy it and enough to follow as well, which if you haven't and you are watching this, I would appreciate follows. I do appreciate everybody that's part of this community. I've got my Discord server that I've set up. The link should be down below if you're watching this on Twitch. And really, it's meant the world to us that it's got this far, and I never expected it to. I expected that if it was ever going to get affiliate, it'd be years down the line, and it would just wouldn't happen for us. I honestly thought that doing this I was too boring, that I was uninteresting, and that nobody would want to watch. And luckily, every stream that I've been on so far, I've had really good interactions with people, and it's been really good. It's been good for me, and it's really helped me feel better about me as well, which is great. Because as I say, I do tag this as a mental health stream as well, because it is helping me with my mental health. I do spend a lot of time quite isolated away from people, so it's good to get the interactions that I'm getting here. I will be streaming every Sunday, every Tuesday, every Thursday. I'm a variety MMO streamer. The last few have all been Final Fantasy XIV because that's what's been asked for. It is the biggest MMO at the moment. It has overtaken World of Warcraft. Sunday stream is going to be Guild Wars 2 with a new player experience, but it won't be right from the very start because I did make a character on Tuesday and I did the first introductory quest. So I'm in the world, but I'm still like level 2 or 3. So it's near enough. I'm playing a necromancer in that game, so that's going to be quite fun. Hopefully I can make it with loads of minions and really just play the role of Dark Overlord of the necromancy. As I say, I appreciate everybody for watching this. it means the world that you do. If you can join the Discord and you want to leave any feedback for the stream, anything I can do better, anything that you want to see me do, any games that you want us to play, join the Discord, let me know, and we'll go from there. Once again, thank you all for watching, for being part of this, and again, I'm going to say, if you can chuck us a follow, it all goes towards the channel. Everything that I'm doing is towards trying to make this a better place. Eventually, I'll be making my own themes and my own backgrounds, and trying to really get into the more design side of things, and create YouTube content as well, because I feel like I could do something a bit different with that. But anyway, I'm going to end the stream there, and once again, thank you all so much for being part of this.